Beck Mum's Coffee and Chat podcast. This is Lynn, and this week is my very first interviewee with Jenny. Jenny is my partner's stepsister. Jenny introduced me and Phil many years ago, and we thought it was by accident, but I think looking back, she'd planned it somewhat. But yeah, so Jenny's the reason I am now here with 2 children and doing this account, really, I suppose.
Oh, thank you very much for giving me the credit for the 2 children. Yes, it was a little bit of a setup because I just thought you two would hit it off. So I made it happen that we were all at the pub, and then I disappeared and left you guys to it. So yeah. I'm glad you weren't cross with me, and I'm glad it went well.
Yeah, no, I mean, 5 and a bit years on now, so no, it's absolutely fine. We did hit it off. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so me and Jenny used to work together a few years back now, and we worked in the college, and then you left then, didn't you? So do you know what, we'll go through your family history in a minute. I've got loads of questions I'm going to ask Jenny tonight. Jenny is I don't like saying this thing because it makes it sound like you're just a stay-at-home mum, but you're lots of other things. But this podcast is mostly going to be concentrating on the stay-at-home mum element. But Jenny has other things that she likes to talk about. So we'll cover all those aspects now. So the first question, Jen, where do you live and who do you live with?
I live in Capel, which is a tiny, tiny little village in Snowdonia, North Wales. And we're on a farm, so they are, well, I don't live with the animals, but we do have plenty of animals around. In my actual house, it's me and my husband, Gethin, and then we've got 2 little ones as well called Flair and Mabon.
So that takes me to the next question. So you've got the 2 children. So tell me a bit about them and their personalities.
Well, Flair is 3 years old. She's the eldest, and she's growing up on a farm, so she's very into getting muddy and helping her dad with the sheep and the cows, and loves being outside. But she's also a really caring girl, so she's got dolls. She likes to wrap them up in blankets and carry them around, and she's very gentle. And she also worries about people's feelings. So if she thinks I'm cross or sad, she'll come over and pet my head and basically treat me like I treat her when she's sad, which is really, really cute.
Yeah.
So she's lovely. But she's also quite stubborn and moody. So
well,
yeah, there's a 3-nager in our lives, basically. So yeah, we're getting a preview of her little strops. And then Mabon, he's just turned 2. So he's her baby brother, but he's quickly taking over. He's a lot taller than she was at the same age. So we think maybe next year he'll either be the same size or bigger. And then people will think he's the older one.
He's a big boy though, isn't he? He is big for his age.
He's massive. Yeah, when I used to see the health visitor, he was always 99th percentile. And I think he still is. So
beyond was,
it's hard to know.
All the way through 99, all the way through for everything.
Because we don't see other kids much, I find it hard to compare. Like, I'm not sure to his peers now. I'm sure he's still like a giant and he could squash them if he sat on them. So
definitely
he's very
when he's older, Jen.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a bit of a hefty little dude. So he's another one. Loves this tractor, loves being outside with the farm, and he's quite cuddly as well, which is sweet. And he's naughty. He has a little face, and he gets on the table and throws things and looks at me and smiles, and I can't tell him off.
Do you know what, I've got to admit, so obviously I know Jenny, so I visit, and our kids are similar age and they're cousins in that sense, so I go visit. And with Flair, she was so relaxed, such a relaxed baby. And then the last few times I've been to Jenny's when I've been allowed because of COVID, Mabon is jumping on the windowsills. It's just the difference between boys and girls, because I've obviously got 2 girls, so I'll never see it, but boys are boisterous, aren't they? There's no fear with him at all.
Yeah, that's it. I never wanted to think boys and girls until they were a lot older, but it just is happening. Like, I got Flair all the different toys in the world, but she did end up putting her like female Playmobil dolls together, and then like he'll just come in and stomp all over it and go straight for the cars.
Yeah,
but
strange.
It's good fun. It's good fun watching them argue over stuff.
I'm just going to jump in now because obviously we're recording this video, so this will go on YouTube, and I know it's called Coffee and Chat, But you'll be noticing that I've got a big wine glass which has got gin in it. So because it's the evening and it's nearly the weekend, so we're going to have a drink. What are you drinking, Jenny?
I've got a white wine, Lynn, which I've been excited about all day. So
How
I think I got
civilized.
up at 7:05 and I've been looking forward to 7:05 p.m. since then. So woohoo, we're here.
We used to be so cool. Now we're looking forward to one.
I'm not sure I was actually.
Okay, I was a little bit, I suppose. But yeah, gosh, right. Okay, so Grace, I'll just go on to question 3. You made the decision to not return to work after your first maternity leave. Was this a decision before you left or during maternity, and why? Do you know what, actually, before you answer that, Jenny, I'm going to go and get a top of drink and I'll get back to you. So is that all right? Do you mind? I just want to also just check on the kids because I just put them to bed as well. So make sure they're all right.
Of course, take your time. I'll sip my wine.
Right, I'll say bye for now and I'll be back in a minute. Okay. Bye.
Okay, thanks.
Anyway, we're back. Right, so we were talking about your decision not to return to work after your first maternity leave. So I remember thinking at the time you probably wouldn't come back because I knew that your plans were obviously maybe to have some more. But when was it that you decided, that's it, I'm not going to go back to work?
Well, I think I discussed it with Geff, and he was saying that he didn't expect me to go back, but obviously if I wanted to, fine. So it was really up to me. So before I went on maternity leave, I thought, oh, I won't come back because I thought, oh, I'll be able to just swan around in my pajamas all the time, and it'll be ace. Can't be bothered with work anymore. I'm off.
Yeah.
But
Nice,
I wasn't sure, so I did leave it open with the college. You know, I hadn't decided because I thought I might hate it. You know, I might really want to go back to it. But then I was pregnant again when my daughter turned 5 months, so I still wasn't due back in work. So I would have been going back knowing I was already 3 months pregnant, 4 months pregnant when I went back, you know, and I just thought I'm going to be going off again. And actually, I thought after another lot of maternity leave, I just didn't feel like I'd want to go back full time because I thought it's going to be really hard then for 2 of them to be in nursery so small.
Yeah.
And I also felt,
and also the bills as well. You'd literally be working just to pay for childcare.
Yeah, I would have been going back to work for like maybe 3-4 months and then finishing again, and that's not long with a really little one, as you know. So I just thought no, and I felt mean on our team as well because I knew how hard we all worked, and for someone to just be in and out on maternity, I just thought I would not like that person. I didn't want to be that person, so I just thought best to not bother going back. But now I'm like, I miss it every day.
Do you really?
So, yeah, I just miss I miss our team. You know, I'm now that because of COVID, I would have been working from home, and that would have been rubbish. But I did like the office politics, and you know, who's taken my yogurt and all that stuff. Just silly office.
I'm on maternity leave, and the last time I really, by the end of it, I was ready to go back. I missed the work. I missed having structure, I think it was for me. I missed having like targets to meet and, you know, deadlines to meet and meetings and meeting different people every day. And I think that's, I mean, at the minute, I'm in now, 6 months nearly into this maternity. And I don't know, I seem to be not so rushed to go back, but I think because I know this is my last baby, I know this is my last opportunity to have time off work. And then it'll be, you know, 26, 27 years of solid work. So I'm just enjoying it for when I can, really. But with COVID, Jenny, I don't know if the office environment is going to be there when I go back, to be honest. I think it's going to be a lot of working from home for a lot of us now. So you're not missing much, basically, is what I'm saying.
No. And like when you do leave a good job, because I really, really liked it. I often find like things change quite quick, don't they? So certain people that were there when I was there aren't there anymore. So it's not like it wouldn't be the same anyway. So, you know, I do tell myself that when I'm missing all the throwing paper in the bin on a Friday afternoon and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, so you knew, obviously being pregnant when Fleur was 5 months, that's kind of made your decision, didn't it, to be a stay-at-home mum then? For a little while anyway. That was your, like, let's say 5-year plan maybe, was it?
Yeah, and because we've got a farm, but we've also got a campsite and a B&B. here. So I'd already taken over the admin for the campsite. So that was all the bookings and emails and phone calls, which turned out to be a lot more work than I thought. I used to do it when I had a full-time job as well, but as and when I could do it, and other people here would help, but I sort of took it on as my job, and then realized actually I'm working loads now, and it got very busy. Like in the summer, it was hours a day, and I was thinking, excuse me, I thought I was going to be hanging out with the baby.
I'll just jump in at this point. So what's the place called again, the campsite? Sorry.
It's called Dolgam.
That's it, Dolgam Campsite. So it is lovely where Jenny lives. It's absolutely beautiful, so scenic. And I've been to visit Jenny in the depths of winter, and there are still people camping there. It's the strangest thing. So people go there all year round, and it is really busy campsite. Because I suppose the walkers, are they hikers and things like that?
Mainly, people that, because we're right by all the mountains, so it's a good spot, and we're on the best route up to Snowdon. So we're in and we've got a little river that runs through the campsite, so people who wild swim can go in there.
Have we been there? Did I take Theon down there with you?
I think we might have, because you can paddle.
It was like a stream. It wasn't big then. It was only a little stream.
Yeah, no, it's not a dangerous. Well, it could be dangerous, but it's not.
Yeah,
you can swim in it.
It's lovely. But so you've done that, and basically this is where I'm saying now. This is where I was coming to your next question about the kids. So you've got 15-month age gap. Is that correct between the two kids?
Yes.
Right. So, what has been the pros and cons to having such a small age gap between your kids?
I think I'll start with the cons.
Yeah, why not? Because that's
flowed out. I think definitely, how hormones are affected when you're pregnant and afterwards. So I would say postnatally, I was still in that weird sleep deprived sort of hormonal phase when I was pregnant again. So then you get all the new hormones. So I think I buggered up my head a little bit, because I think after I had Mab, my body was just like, what are you doing? So I felt like such a weirdo, like such a zombie for ages. And I think that's largely due to how close they were, because my sort of head and body didn't really get a chance to like recover and go back to normal and then start again. So that was a bit of a con. Plus, it was quite tiring and demanding. So luckily, the eldest, Fleur, is a really good sleeper. So that's why we had a baby so quickly, because we were like, this is easy. She goes to bed for 12 hours.
I've got to say at this point, Fleur was the best sleeper ever. Jenny had her in the cot, I don't know how many times a day, and she'd sleep for ages. I was so envious at the time because my daughter was not like that. And I kept thinking, I get why you want another one if this one's this good. But I think for me, like you're saying about 5 months, my second born now, Ronnie, she has just turned 5 months last week. I can't imagine. I mean, I've had rough pregnancies, but I just can't imagine being pregnant again at this point. I just couldn't do it. So all the power to you, because I couldn't do it, no chance.
Yeah, I think that was mainly the reason. She was such a good sleeper, so we just didn't see why not. There was no real reason not to have another one quick. No. So I think when Mabon turned up, he was more of a standard babe. Didn't sleep quite as insanely well as her. So that was a bad time, like when you had a newborn wanting to feed, and I was breastfeeding him, and only a 15-month-old who couldn't speak much and was clingy, so you'd have them both crying, and I was just like, what have I done?
I remember you saying, Jenny, at the time I'd visited, and a mutual, my friend, sister's friend Emma was your midwife at the time, was she, or health visitor, and she had said to you, this will be the biggest age gap they'll ever have, or something. What did she say? Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't. It was something like that.
Exactly that, because she'd had her son and daughter with the same gap. So she said, when you've got a newborn and a toddler, that's the furthest apart you'll have, because the older Mabon gets, he'll be at the same stage as Fleur. Like now they're much, I mean, she talks a lot more, but in terms of ability and size, now they're like, that was what I was going to say about pros, is that now they're like friends and they're into the same stuff. So the same TV shows, the same toys, which is good, because they like the same things, but then they fight over the same things as well. So
It's kind of
But
like
yeah, I
having
feel like,
really long distant twins, isn't it? Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
because they do share clothes, and
Yeah.
they do look like they could be twins. But that was a good thing as well about being close, was that I was still changing nappies with Fleur and expecting it to be up in the night when I had a newborn. So I never finished that phase, so it didn't feel like having to start it again because it
Yeah.
didn't end. So
Yeah.
that was good as well. Yeah, still in that zone of baby.
That's it. You've got the nappy situation, but then once it's done, isn't it? It's not
Yeah,
going to prolong for years and years and years, is it? That's what I suppose that is one of the pros to it.
yeah,
What else is there? So they're basically like their friends, and that's why you're like now. Obviously, at the time when you first had him, it was hard because, like I said, it was a really big difference. And I get that, because the speech thing, when you've got your eldest isn't fully speaking, it's so hard because they get frustrated, don't they? And you're trying to explain that you love them just as much as you love this new baby, and you want them to love that baby. So you're trying to get them involved with everything, but they're still really too young to hold them, to pick them
yeah.
up, to do anything. It's hard. It's really hard.
I don't even think Fleur noticed he was there. Like, she wasn't kind of jealous because I just don't think she saw him. She just realized that I wasn't always giving her the attention.
Do you know, I think that's a really good point, because I think if they're that small, they don't know the jealousy emotion yet, maybe.
No,
You know what I mean? Because it's just not
she
in
just
them.
wasn't interested in him. Yeah,
No.
she'd never tried to hold him. She just didn't seem to know he was there, and she was still on 2 naps a day, so that was really helpful
Yeah.
because I had loads of time just with my mum because she was in bed all day, basically.
I'm so envious of you right
Yeah,
now, because I don't
that
have that.
that was good, because I was thinking that, I was like, if she wasn't in bed, how do people cope with a child that's up all day and a newborn? I was just thinking, I've got it
I can
good
tell you
because mine's
that.
in bed.
I can tell you that you just go to bed really early every night, and you just sleep as much as you can. You have no life other than just having children during the day. But yeah, Fiona is at that age where she's dropped her naps, because she's nearly 3, isn't she now? So that's fine. But yeah,
Yeah,
God, I said to someone the other day, I can't remember the last time I had a nap. With Fiona, I napped during the day with her. Do you know, when she was sleeping, I'd sleep, and I just don't get that this time round.
yeah, you don't get the break.
Can't believe I ever thought just the firstborn was like the hardest. It's definitely harder when you've got two to
I know,
contend.
because the newborn just sleeps. I don't know why I didn't appreciate that with her.
I'm looking at Ronnie, and she's starting to like feed, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet, because I quite like just the easiness of what it's like, isn't it? Oh, right.
Yeah.
So the next question, Jenno, is what do you like most about being a stay-at-home mum, and what has been the most challenging aspect of being a stay-at-home mum?
The thing I like most is that you can be flexible. So because I think if I was working part-time 3 days a week, then you'd know you've got 2 days with them and you can only do stuff on those days. So I quite like the fact that, apart from nursery stuff, we have got a bit of a blank canvas. So if the weather's good, Geth will, because he's a farmer, he can just drop what he's doing and we'll go to the beach, or like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a nice day, let's go and see my tide today. And it can be a bit like flexible like that. So although I do like structure in my life, and they are in nursery a couple of days, you could change it. And
Yeah.
I know probably what I will look back on is, this is a short time. I've had the time to be with them all the time. So you get to see them change and develop, and you don't miss anything. But, when you're in it, that's very boring. And I don't appreciate it at the moment. But I think when I'm older, I'll think, oh, yeah, it was nice watching that happen again.
Someone said to me the other day, and I was like, this is the best thing. And I just use it all the time now. A much older lady, she was like in her 70s, I think. And I was walking the kids, and I think Fiona was crying and Ronnie was crying, and I just like looked drained. And she said, oh, I've been there, done that. And she said, do you know what? The days are long, but the years are short. And I was like, yeah, it's true. It's so true. You don't appreciate it at the time because you're just so tired.
That is true, because you think how quickly the year that we were all in lockdown's gone. Really, it's gone quick. But every day's been like a drag. So,
it's really strange.
or when I was looking at we did thank you cards for the kids, and I noticed Mabon's in the same top that he was wearing on his thank you card last year. And it doesn't seem that long ago, like that I took the same picture. And I was thinking, God, that's been a year, but nothing's really happened.
No.
Just that I've seen
Been to
him
the park.
develop a little bit. Yeah.
Been to the park
But,
a few times.
Yeah, been to the park. We have to drive, which is naughty, but there's nowhere to walk to, so because they've shut it, so we have to go in the car.
Well, this brings it down to the next question, which is, what has life been like for you guys as a family? Obviously, these last 12 months with the pandemic, and what have you missed the most? So obviously, you're kind of out in the sticks really there, aren't you?
Yeah, whereas I don't feel like I am anymore. When my mum comes, she still feels like, oh, it's so far from Llandudno, because we're not like in a town, but we're only 5 minutes in the car from Bestyquid, where there's quite a lot going on, and lots of my friends live, and I've got 2 good friends with kids the same age who we can walk to, so that's good.
That is good, yeah.
So we have liked lockdown. Gef's usually really busy with the campsite, so it's packed from basically May to October every year. He's out from 5:30, 6 a.m. in and out all day, and maybe till 10 in the night. So that year we had him all to ourselves, and I kind of think it was so helpful with 2 really little ones to have another parent there. So yeah, we did a lot of nice picnics and stuff in the summer, and but I really missed the social stuff. So I used to do play dates all the time, meet friends for lunch, take the kids, and I was looking forward to doing it as they were a bit older, and you can let them walk
and go
on their own, and so yeah, I really missed that. I struggled with the social distance, like literal distance, because we couldn't see anyone. But it hasn't been bad. Like lots of people have it worse, and we've got a big farm to go and play on, so we haven't been cooped up in the house, so that's been
and when it's been really loud, I've been over as well, haven't I? And you've been here, and we've just tried to, when it's been allowed, we've done it.
I think that's it. I think it's made me think you've got to make the most when the lockdowns are over, like go do everything, because it might start again.
There is so many pros to it. I mean, like you're saying, we've never had so much time together, me and Phil, as is now, and it's been great because people aren't pulling him out to do jobs or to do this, that and the other. I mean, he's still working during the day, but there's no pubs open, there's no parties, there's no get-togethers, so we are just with each other all the time. So it's nice, like you said, because I've now got a young one as well, that he seems to be a lot more, and I'm getting more help, and we're doing more stuff as a family. It is really, that's one of the pros. I'm always trying to find positives out of it.
Yeah, that thing about the pubs is good, because I know over Christmas, Gef was saying he feels like he'd gain time, because normally he might have, like, say you'd have 2 all dayers with your friends in the pub, and then the day after you feel crap, but that's 2 days that you couldn't go out. So the same with, like, now the rugby Six Nations is on. Normally one or the other of us would want to be in the pub all day, and then you feel rough on the Sunday, but we can't do it, so it's like 2 pints in front of the telly with the kids.
Yay!
So rock on. I'm glad I'm 39 or 38 when this is happening. If I was 20, I would be gutted.
I was saying that, like, Phil's girls, imagine being 19 and 22 when this is happening. I just can't imagine. It would be awful. So the next one I wanted to speak to you about, so you were working with me full time, then obviously you stayed at home to bring up your children. Then you got married as well, but beginning of this year you started a new business. So first of all, what is the business, and secondly, why did you start that business?
I started it because I was looking for part-time work, not Christmas just gone, the one before, so 2019. I was fed up basically just being at home and putting children over me all the time. I just wanted something back for me, so I was looking for part-time work, and Geth was just saying, why don't you try and do your own thing, and then you get to keep your money, you can make your own hours, blah blah. So I'm not very entrepreneurial, so I was a bit scared, but I did think, well, okay, I'll give that a go. And it was an idea to do Nordic walking sessions based on the farm. So some of our campers had asked me in the past, what is there to do in the area, but not like adrenaline junkie stuff. So we've got zip world and we've got surfing and bounce below, but something else they wanted, just maybe a bit more chilled. So I was trying to fill a bit of a niche, and then I like being outside, so I trained up as an instructor, and then just decided to launch it in the springtime. So
but launch
for
what,
January,
Jenny? Not mentioned what it is yet.
my Snowdonia Nordic Walking, which is the company. So it was teaching people to do Nordic walking, and then also going for a walk in the mountains here. So they get to see a bit of Snowdonia. So it was aimed at tourists, really. Completely misjudged the pandemic and launched in March when the lockdown started. So there was no tourists until July. So I had 3 months of Instagram posts of like me walking. It's just,
you know what though, I think that's the best way, because you wouldn't have got loads of people straight away anyway, because it takes time for things like that, word of mouth marketing and everything. I honestly believe, I think it's been not a great thing for you, but you've learned loads, haven't you? You've done all your courses, your marketing, you've learned, make from your mistakes, you've been doing this, that and the other. And I think now, a year on, once this is all lifted, you know how to do things, don't you?
yeah, because I did learn a lot. Like you say, there was marketing courses and stuff, but also when I was open, what I realized is like lots of local people wanted to do it. So I probably had more business from people in the 30-mile radius than I have from tourists. But I do think that's a lot to do with lockdowns, because I did get bookings from people on holiday while they could come, but they couldn't come very much. So I decided to do it really just to be proactive and have my own business. I think
give you something,
something to focus on that isn't just nappies and picking up bits of food off the floor and stuff, because that was getting me down. So it was a positive mental health step as much as anything.
I think that's it. And also, like you said, earning, your independence, your own money, and it gives you time outside as well, fresh air. You do like your fitness as well, don't you? So you like getting out, so it's like killing two birds with one stone, really, isn't it?
That's it. I was sort of getting paid to do what I want to do, which is go for walks in the mountains, but also talk to people. So it did tick a lot of boxes.
I don't think you've got, we haven't got long to go, Jen. I think you're going to be fine. And then, more people will be, I think once everything's okay, that campsite is going to be absolutely chocker. Then you've got everybody coming this way anyway. You just be run off your feet, I think, definitely. You'll be tuning people away. You will. And this isn't, do you know what? I'm not getting paid for this, by the way. It's not a paid advertisement. It's a really good idea. There is a Nordic walking group here where I live on a Saturday morning, and it's part of the council. But it's walking around the streets, I think. Whereas where Jenny is, like I said, Capel Carrig, if you look it up, it's beautiful. It's so pretty. And she does half. What do you do? Half day.
Yeah, half day one, which is 3 hours, which includes a panad and a flapjack at the end, which is nice.
So
that's everyone's favourite bit.
A panad is a cup of tea in Welsh, by the way. So actually, do you know what? I was just about to go on to the Welsh thing. I'll go back to the Welsh elements to it in a moment. So the next question that was on my list: how have you managed to juggle this new business around your home life, and any tips for parents wishing to start their own business from home?
Well, hard work to juggle it, because as anyone who's either got their own business or is on social media knows, once you're on Instagram, it's very addictive. Like as soon as you've got a like, you're in there, aren't you? You've got to put the time in, or you don't get the reach. And I did find that out the hard way, because the more time I spent on it, the more you get back. So then it's more engagement. You want to put more time in.
It's all about the engagement.
Really is. And just I struggled with that. So March and April particularly, when I thought I would be opening and I wasn't, I was just taking photos to post, and it took up my whole day, just getting a picture, but then thinking of witty comments to put and hashtags, checking out which hashtags, posting it, and then as soon as anyone liked it, trying to engage. And I really found myself neglecting the kids because I was on my Instagram, and I just thought there's got to be a line drawn here. But then as soon as you stop putting the time in on Instagram, your likes stop dropping, and it's you have to find a balance, I think.
I'll step in there because I'm obviously doing this Swan effect thing. And this isn't a business. I don't make money from it at all. And I'd love to make some money out of it. And that would be great if I could one day. But as you just said, it takes time to put in, to research, for what I would need to do. And I'm already on my phone that much. So my rule, I don't know about you, and maybe you can give this tip, but I'm doing this tonight while the kids are in bed. But it doesn't mean I'm neglecting my partner tonight. So it's trying to find that balance between everything. And I just find if there's nap times, or if they're watching a film, I'll write my blog then, or I'll start writing it. Or if Ronnie's sleeping and Fion's in the playgroup, I'll write things then, or I'll do a video or whatever. I try and fit it around so it's not, like I said, neglecting the children, because it can suck you in. It really can.
Yeah, I found myself, like, we would go down to the river and I'd be trying to get them in a cute pose to get a photo, because I knew it would look nice. But you're almost, prioritizing a photo over enjoying the moment. Like, I definitely did that for a few months, and then I just had the word with myself and was like, leave the phone at home and go and have fun with your children, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. But yeah, like you said, nap time, they were both having, I think, 2 naps at the start of lockdown, or maybe but certainly a 2-hour afternoon window I had every day. So I would do all my emails, marketing and blah blah in that time. And then because you end up feeling like you're letting one down, don't you? Like, you're either letting the kids down because you're working, or you're not concentrating on work because you're trying to manage the children. So it's really hard, the juggling, I suppose.
So when do you do most of your work though, Jen? Now, do you do it in night time then, or when they're napping?
Well, for the campsite, I do like an hour a day on the emails, try and do it at lunchtime when Gef's around. So he's with them anyway, playing after lunch. So I do them all and hide in the office. Nordic walking stuff's pretty quiet at the moment, but anything I get, I try to do it quickly, like then and there, because I think people appreciate a quick response, especially if they've paid for something. I want to say, it's but thank you. I don't want them to think, what's happened to a minute, where's she gone? So yeah, I mean, we're lucky that we've got smartphones, aren't we? Because you can do emails quick on your phone, like even waiting for Fleur to finish playgroup. If I'm in the car, I'll check my emails.
I've done that.
Blah, 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 blah. So you just have to try and fit it in anywhere.
I think that's it. I think for me it's when Fiona had said something like, basically like said in her little muddled language, put your phone down, Mum, come here, come play with me. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, I'm getting off this phone. I'm getting off my phone for a bit, because it's just, I'm supposed to be promoting this mum blog and I'm not being a mum. So I was like, okay, getting off the phone now. That I think for me, it's night time as well. For any parents looking to do anything like this, obviously. So we talked before about the Welsh thing. So when I met Jenny, she was as English can be in that sense. I mean, you are Welsh born, aren't you? But you were English speaking fully. And then she met Geth, who is fluent Welsh. I mean, to the point where I think he struggles to speak English, doesn't he? His version of English is my version of Welsh.
Not. I mean, he's bilingual, but he's much more comfortable.
Much comfortable, isn't it? Yeah. And so I think all his friends are Welsh, his family are Welsh, his work colleagues are Welsh. He spoke Welsh, I would say, 90% of the time before we met you, maybe? Yeah. Okay, so you learned to speak Welsh when you met him. And I remember, sorry, Jen, I'm going to embarrass you now, but you were full into learning Welsh, weren't you? You were online classes, going apps, all sorts, weren't you? Bless you. You really tried. Yeah. And I'm so impressed how you learned Welsh that quickly. But I suppose because you were around him and he was speaking Welsh to you and his family, I think that's the thing with anybody learning a language. You need to be around people that are speaking it all the time. So you're picking up, you're not losing it ever, are you?
Picking up stuff and stuff that is useful. So not necessarily things that they'll teach you in a class, but things that people actually say.
And slang words as well and things, because that's how people talk, isn't it? So you then brought your children up bilingually, because like if I visited, I'll speak English to them. You've got your mum, your dad, everyone, they speak English, don't they? I don't think there's anyone Welsh on your side, is there, in that sense?
Apart from my dad's dad, who who
Oh
was
yeah.
first language Welsh. So since I've learned, I speak Welsh to him now all the time, and no
Yeah.
one else does. So I think I might be the only person, apart from when he sees Gaff, which isn't much because of lockdown stuff. Yeah, I think I'm the only person he speaks Welsh to, and he's actually better in Welsh, my Tide, because he stumbles a bit in English, like he's quite
Yeah.
forgetful. But when he's in Welsh, he doesn't. So I think he really likes it. So that's
Oh,
nice.
that's lovely. So obviously you've got to bring your children up bilingually, because obviously if you brought
Yeah.
them up Welsh, fine, but that would be not that great for them if they were meeting your family either. So how hard was it getting them, to bringing up children bilingually, and what steps did you put in place for it?
I did look into it, and I googled it and got a book, but I didn't really follow any of the advice. So it's been a bit like, see what happens, because I know what they said was one parent should speak one language and one should speak another. That was one method, so that they get used to differentiating the two languages. But because I was still a Welsh learner, I didn't want to only speak English to
Yeah.
them, because I want to speak Welsh as much as I can. And plus, Gaff wanted the house to be a Welsh house.
Yeah.
So I think they get plenty of English from either the telly or, like my parents, like you say. So, and most of my friends, when they come to the house, will speak English.
Yeah.
So they definitely get enough exposure to both. But then if it's just us at home, it's all Welsh, and their grandparents who live across the yard are first language Welsh. So yeah, I'd say it's Welsh in the home. And actually when they're at nursery and playgroup, that's mainly Welsh as well. So
they're getting a good
just
mix of it, really, aren't they?
Yeah, because as you know, like the TV is mainly English, and they get Frozen and they get books in English. So I think it's just speaking both to them. But they do. Fleur seems to know, like she'll speak Welsh to her 9. That's Gaff's mum. But if my mum comes, she speaks English. So
yeah,
they can
she's getting to
tell.
that age where she knows now, doesn't she?
Yeah, and everything you read says like kids just pick it up. They don't find it hard because they don't know any different. So yeah, we didn't have a plan. We just
I think that's
just
because
see
I
what
remember
happens.
visiting when, gosh, I don't know when it was. I think I might have been pregnant, and she said something in Welsh to me, and I looked at her, and she went, and she shook her head, and then said it in English. It's like she
Yeah,
knew, I've got a bit confused.
she does that, and sometimes she talks to me in English and says the same thing to her dad in Welsh, like straight after. So like she does that for me, kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
quite cute.
Oh. I've got to rush this now. I'm getting talking for ages.
No worries.
If you could go back
long.
and give yourself one piece of advice before having your family, what would it be?
Oh, I know the answer to this, and it's okay because I already did it. So it was more advice to anyone before they have a family, not just to me.
Yeah.
But it was to do everything that you want to do before you can, if you can. I mean, you might get pregnant unexpectedly, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you are planning a family, I would say if you want to travel or do crazy stuff and like go out loads, I would try and do everything you
Before
want
the
to do
kids
first,
come.
because otherwise I feel like, I know personally I'm quite selfish. I would have resented them for stopping me doing stuff, and I don't at all, because I don't feel like I've missed out on anything, because I was probably older when I had them. I was 35 when I had Flynn, and I'd done everything I wanted to do. So I feel happy with that. So I think that's advice, is if you've got the choice, do all you want to do first.
I think that's it, yeah, because I didn't point out that before. So we're the same school year, aren't we? So I think I'm about 6 months older than you. So you were 35, I was 36 when we first became mums. And again, like you, gosh, I had a friend who had a baby at 17. So by the time I was having my firstborn, her eldest, was nearly 20. It's just,
Oh my
it's
God.
crazy. But then saying that now, she's now not even 40, and she is doing, well, she's got plans after COVID to do so much. And I'm like, yeah, and that's it. I think there's two sides to it. I knew I was going to be an older mum, because I knew I was going to be single for a long time, because that was my personal choice. So I just filled in everything I could. And yeah, it's true, because once you have the kids, they're like I said, the first priority, aren't they? Can't just go traveling the world because, well, you could, but it'd be logistically, it'd be quite difficult, hard to organise.
And yeah, you could do it, and people do, don't they?
Yeah.
But I think it would be a different experience, and I would much rather the experience that I had, which was I'll just please myself and not have to think about anyone else.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's great advice, to be honest. Yeah, I ditto that one. I think that's the best advice. So
good.
Because we're older ones, we've done it. But, right, okay, lastly, what do you do during the week to ensure you have some time for self-care? Or like, where do you go to escape the chaos and, you know, just be you?
Well, there's nowhere to go in my house that can escape, because even if you go in the toilet, they come in, and if they can't get in, they bang on the door until you let them in. So you have to go out. So I just make sure maybe even just once a week, or hopefully twice, I go for a run or a walk. So usually they do go to nursery twice a week in the morning, so that's when I get my time off. That's my break sort of thing. So I'll go for a run then. So if they're there, I basically don't expect to have any time to myself until they're in bed. But yeah, I'd say doing a workout, whether that's a run or a Davina McCall video, which I quite like. That's how I switch off, focus on.
I just point out that we just showed our age because Jenny just said video.
It's a DVD. It's a DVD. But a DVD doesn't make it any better. No, it doesn't. People are like,
download. I stream it. That's what you need to say, Jenny.
No, I don't know. I don't care. I like putting it in the DVD player and like picking which one I'm going to do the next day off the shelf. I can't be doing with like online streaming
it's complicated.
Fitness. I like to know what's coming.
Do you know what? It's too much choice with streaming. I end up spending an hour, the hour I've got to do self-care, choosing what I want to do, and then realise I've run out of time. Never mind. So do you feel like that recharges your batteries enough, though, like doing that?
Yes, because I think I've done something for me. It makes me feel better because of the endorphins, and I like keeping fit, like you said earlier. So like you can come back and be rejuvenated. Like then I'm happy to deal with the stress. If I haven't had a chance to do a workout, I'm quite crabby.
Jazz, I mean, do you feel like you need that every week? That's what I'm getting at. You know, is self-care important to you?
Yeah. And I think there are probably better people than me that don't mind putting the kids first all the time, but I do want to do something for me. So
you know what, Jenny,
it makes me a better person, a better mum.
You do put your kids forward first. I think every parent puts their kid first, and like I think that's why I did this account, because I just wanted to show the honest accounts of mums. And I think what you've just said is like you're already making it, you know, like sorry I go out for a run twice a week. That's kind of, without you even realizing that's how it sounded. And it's like, well, why do we do that? And you're like, oh, mums might put their kids forward. We all put our kids forward, but you know what? If you don't give yourself an hour a week or an hour or 2 a week, especially now with 2 kids, I'd go do lolly. I really would. And I need that kind of escapism just for an hour.
Yeah. But do you ever feel like our mums, not necessarily me and your mums, but like I feel like the mums in our lives almost look down on it, like they didn't do that. They didn't put themselves first. Like it's now that we're thinking about ourselves first.
Yeah, but you know like, what? I also realised, I know where you're coming from, but I think they forget things. So can you remember childbirth, really, fully? Because if you did, Jenny, you wouldn't go back and do it again. But we don't, do we? Mothers are equipped to forget certain things. So, for example, I'm now talking to people that have got teenagers, and I'm trying to explain how stressed and upset I get with my toddler because she just screams for no reason. And it really drains me and makes me feel terrible. And they're like, oh, yeah, I don't remember that. And I'm like, and I know that their kids were exactly like that too. And I think parents forget certain elements to the bad side of the, you know, the children. So I think mums might say that and might go, oh, we never had any time to ourselves. But my mum used to go to bingo on 2 nights a week. I mean, that might have been all she'd done, but it's more than I'm doing at the minute.
Yeah. She was lucky.
Yeah, lucky. I'd love to go to bingo twice a week.
Yeah, that's true. They probably did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you just feel like I don't want people to think that I'm putting myself first, but then it's fine if I am a bit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And I just think, especially if you've got a partner or a husband or whatever, like, let them have them for a bit. That's not a bad thing, and they're not babysitting. Like, you know, I'm definitely going to do it more for sure. Definitely.
Yeah,
Especially when I go back to
good.
work. So I think that's it, Jen. Is there anything else you want to add that you think might be helpful for our listeners?
Not really. Yes, I think it's just, I really think that get everything you want to do done, because when you have the kids, it's so life-changing.
Yeah.
And it's amazing and brilliant, but I think I struggled with losing myself. Like,
Yeah, I did.
Suddenly I'm answering man all day, and you're like, wait a minute, you know, like 2 years ago I was doing this, you know, come on.
Yeah, I'm going to finish on this little story of Jenny, because Jenny and myself are exactly the same. We were getting to the point in our lives where we did want to settle down, and we did want to meet someone and have children, but at the same time we were both very selfish, and we both quite liked our single lives and our independence of freedom. And I remember you saying, Jenny, that you were meeting a friend who had a baby, and for dinner at, like, say 5:15, and you were fuming because they weren't there by 10 minutes. They were 10 minutes late, and you were fuming. I remember thinking, oh, she's going to be a mum soon, and she hasn't got a clue. Because even I knew, because I'd been an auntie and stuff, I knew, like, you know what it's like now, Jenny? It's like we'll text each other, oh, kids are crying, kids are playing up, can't get the kid in the seat, blah, 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 you know. Oh, it's funny. When you look back and you think, God, we were quite naive, really.
I know. Yeah, I remember my best friend had a baby, and I went to see her, and I was really annoyed because she wanted to bring him to the pub.
Yes,
and he was only a newborn, and I was like, why? No, it's going to ruin the whole night. I just did not want to know.
Oh my God. Right, let's leave it at that, because it's getting late, and I'm going to have to edit this right down. But I hope you've all enjoyed listening, and I hope this is recorded, and if it hasn't, then we'll do it again next week. Jen,
thank you very much, Lynn.
So much for doing this with me, Jen. For a start. Oh, bye.
Bye.
Bye.